First, just an introduction on yourself.
My name is Tulisile Bolana. I'm from here in South
Okay.
Africa. We met, was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. And then when was it this year? We decided to start up our own business, which is e-commerce one.
So that's
it's been
millbug.com.
yeah, it's Millbug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been growing so far.
And now, basically, my background's a little bit different. I've been working for a couple of years.
Okay.
And funny enough, my parents actually live and work in Kenya right now.
Oh, you do? Oh, seriously? Okay.
Yeah. But I was born in Zimbabwe and moved to South Africa about, 19 years ago.
Okay, so you spend a lot of time there.
A lot of time. And I was working at an advertising agency here in Port Elizabeth when one of the guests, a gentleman named Fred Root, came. They invited a gentleman named Fred Root to the office. And he told us, wow, if you want to start a business in South Africa and it's not e-commerce, you're doomed to failure.
Okay.
So figured right there and then that we'd start a business. And the weirdest thing is that day when Fred Root actually came to the office, Tulicia and I had a chat and we started registering the company before we even knew what platform we would be using as far as CMS is concerned. At the time, we wanted to do it on WordPress, can you imagine? Yeah.
Okay, well, you can do a lot with WordPress.
We ended up, we're now doing it on Intune. Yeah.
What system are you doing now?
Yes.
Which system? I didn't catch that.
Magento.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, big system, yes. Powerful system.
Very powerful, very powerful. Because I'm very, I won't say I'm an expert, but we're okay with WordPress.
Oh yeah, well I must say, especially now learning that you just basically kicked off this year, the site looks really good. It's really cool, really nice and neat and clean. So well done.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you.
But tell me, I mean, it's what I found really interesting is, I mean, you have this e-commerce site for a ladies' wear, and obviously you're going out to do an international project because if I get it right, you also want to deliver internationally. So can you give me a bit of an idea of the background? Why did you go for ladies' wear? The decision to go international. What's the background of that?
Ladies' wear, I think she'd definitely be more educated as far as that's concerned. But to call a spade though, women do tend to buy more clothing than men. So
Well, tell me about it.
So we figured that would be a great idea. The international thing, I mean, we figured we're going to leverage the power of the internet. The traditional brick and mortar store is just confined to a certain geographical region, and I figure, if we really wanted to go that route, would go that route, I guess, because people want to feel and touch the clothing, etc. But if we have the advantage of using the internet, why not go all out? I reckon.
Okay. And tell me, I've been reading up a bit about e-commerce in Africa, and obviously, if I get you right, you are, even though you're living in Kenya, your base is in South Africa, and South Africa has a more established internet economy than a lot of the other continent. But you do read a lot about issues on storage, just-in-time delivery. Payment systems, online delivery. I saw that you deliver free of charge. How do you handle these issues?
In one word, outsourced.
Okay. Oh yeah?
We figured that's the best way. Let the experts who know all about logistics, etc., take care of that. And all we have to do is just literally learn about certain systems that allow the powers that be to do what they do best. I figure, Tulisile is the style expert. I'm the nerd. Might as well let just to be as efficient and as lean as possible to do what we do best and allow professionals and experts to do what they do best.
Okay, so basically what you did is you concentrate on the site, on the platform, everything that I access online, and then basically sourcing and delivery, etc. You have outsourced.
That's correct. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Cool. And tell me, you guys are obviously quite established. You have a great site. You have a setup, a clear idea. What advice would you give to other people who say, okay, e-commerce is the future in Africa, I want to start a business? What advice would you give, or what were things that you had difficulties with?
I would say that they should be patient, first of all, as it take a lot of time sourcing clothes, like our items on our site, and setting up the website. How many times we wanted to throw out the laptop away? Yeah, they should be like really patient, and yeah, everything will work out nicely.
And also they should be prepared to fail, because we failed a whole lot in the beginning.
Oh, you did?
And we continue to fail, but we fail very fast.
Okay.
So we get to learn from our mistakes. And so I suppose it's also a very lean strategy that we're using. And yeah, patience.
Yeah.
What were the things? What were the things you failed on?
Wow, what didn't we fail on? I think we failed at absolutely everything. Everything went wrong, but we didn't stop. We kept on going. I mean, as in our position right now, we're not exactly where we think we can and should be, but we're learning every single day. Every single day there's a new failure, a new success. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. Do you guys, how have you been financing this yourself? So are you working alongside, you have a regular day job and you're doing this on the side, or are you concentrating fully on this project?
Well, we concentrating fully on this program. We're not working.
Yeah. It's
full on.
Yeah. My parents don't know this, so I hope this doesn't air until next year.
Okay, we have to talk about that one.
Yeah. So actually, I left my job a couple of months ago to focus full time on the business. I mean, I strongly believe there's absolutely no way it can fail. I hope I'm right.
Persevere.
So it's been really good. Just lots of hard work and full time job.
Have you guys been financing this yourself, or do you have somebody supporting you? Do you have an investor financing yourself? Wow, real entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we're quite lucky that we had decent financial habits in the past, so we saved a little bit of cash, and that sustained us during the rough times. I mean, the lights are on, the internet is so I think that's
Okay. One question, something that entrepreneurs don't like talking about so
but
much.
Also, we can't. Is that?
Sorry, I think we had a bad connection for a second. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear now.
Awesome. One thing entrepreneurs don't like talking about so much is the issue of traction and how many sales you do. Is that something you can talk about?
Well, we're profitable. Let's say that. We're profitable. As long as the business is not losing money, I figure before any investment in that, I think we're okay. But when you see bigger e-commerce ventures here in South Africa, like the Zandos getting hundreds of millions of rands, or rather tens of millions of euros in financing, it's very difficult to actually compete with them. So it's a good and a bad thing, because it makes us a bit more creative, and we have to kind of position ourselves differently to them. But ultimately, we will have to give little baby Millie a little bit of a cash injection, and it'll be fun.
Eventually, there'll be no way around it. But that you mentioned Zando is very interesting, and I think that's cool that you guys say, okay, it makes us more creative and inventive. Are there certain issues where you say that's where we are different from a platform like Zando, or we're better or more unique?
I'd say we're definitely. Oh, of course, I'd say we're better, much better, 25 times better. But specifically, we're more nimble. The bigger organization, it will take them a lot longer to do the things that we can do in a day. I think at the end of the day, because we're really loving this nimbleness, the obvious case study was Zara out in Europe. That whole integration of the supply chain on a linear basis and just being more responsive to the market. I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. Just to be able, and also the African body shape is very different to that of Europe and Asia, etc. So as soon as we get into the manufacturing, I think it's checkmate.
Okay, but that brings me to my last core question is, you say when we get into manufacturing. So what are your plans for next year? We're at the end of 2012. What do you see for 2013 for Milbag?
It's manufacturing. Once we manufacture our items here, we we control everything: size, trending, fashion. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds really awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
Then at this point, it's been really awesome talking to you. I thank you really very, very much for your time. And for 2013, I really hope to hear a lot from you guys.
Thank you, Anya. Really appreciate it. Definitely gonna keep you posted on everything. You'll get to hear it first.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
The hurdles, etc. We just wait for it. I think it will come in time, and I'm glad that we didn't know any investors in the beginning, because we would have failed very publicly. It would have been really bad. So I think now we're slightly more mature in our business and business aptitude, and we'll be able to at least speak their language to an extent.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's also interesting to hear you talk that way, because, a lot of entrepreneurs, the first thing they'll do is, of course, obviously say, okay, I have this idea and I'll go out and try and get an investment and then I'll get started. So you guys have basically turned it around.
That's it, yeah. I mean, as we all know, there's not too much money just rolling around in Africa. It seems to be kept very tightly by those who do have it. Much as it is a fast developing continent, it is relatively difficult to come by capital. But having said that, I think it's a good thing, because by the time one actually does get capital, the venture will have matured to an extent that it's ready to actually be productive. And I think we'll be seeing greater returns from these ventures that are funded here in this particular development market in the next 10, 20 years.
What do you guys, I mean, one reads that quite frequently, that one of the issues on the African continent for a lot of tech startups is that there is not enough financing. And now you're saying maybe it's not that bad because it gives us more time to mature. But what do you think are the reasons for the situation? Do you think that basically the whole scene needs more time to mature before investors are interested? Or what do you think is the background of that?
The scene definitely needs more time to mature, but we find here in SA, especially they have just unbelievable programs. Really great tech centered or focused incubators specifically. But I think the investors themselves are very wary of what is possible in Africa. I mean, we've seen the dot-com bubble happen